My name's Russell Platten. I'm a retired offshore oil worker, and I also have a YouTube channel called Russell Platten. My YouTube channel is a little bit of a mishmash of everything, and a lot of that is to do with woodwork. I first got into woodworking in the mid-80s. I moved from a 3-bedroom bedsit into a 3-bedroom semi-detached house, and I was literally rattling around the rooms without any furniture. I couldn't afford to buy any furniture, and a friend said to me, "Why don't you try making it?" because he was quite a handy lad. He took me to see a guy that made his own furniture, and I thought to myself, yep, I'm pretty sure I could do that. I managed to scrape up enough money to buy a table saw, a jigsaw, and I already had a drill. And then I started making furniture. It wasn't long before I realised that I also needed to be able to make spindles, because just making square edges is a little bit boring when you're making furniture. So on the way to work one day, I used to go and visit a second-hand tool shop, and I went there one afternoon and they were selling a lathe for £20. So I decided to buy that lathe, and I went to the library, borrowed a book, and then I learned how to wood turn. I bought some tools, and then I made my first piece of furniture with the lathe, which ended up being a 3-piece suite. This was part of a 3-piece suite. This is a single chair, there was another single chair, and there was a double chair as well. So I needed to make 12 of these spindles, and when you start wood turning, the more of a thing that you make that's the same, it gets easier and easier. So I found myself actually turning these out fairly quickly. I did them in a day, I think, making the legs. Then I got hold of some wood from a local wood yard, and I made the frames with some mortise chisels. So these are mortise and tenoned in. I started off with this basic square, and then I thought, well, how am I going to put the back in? So it was a bit rough, it's all screwed and glued, but I screwed and glued these sides in, and these were actually cut out with a jigsaw. And I kind of wanted to give it a feature, so I made this decorative top. And when it was finished, I actually thought, that is not a bad piece of furniture. So as well as woodwork, I also dabble a bit in metalwork. And this obelisk is made out of rebar. My wife asked me if I could make something so we could put a climbing rose inside. And it's basically just rebar that's cut to size, welded together with a finial on the top. I bought that from eBay, I think it was. And I used the Evolution Rage 4 saw to cut that. And it was really, really quick. It makes life a lot easier when you've got something that can cut metal quickly. A few years ago, my wife saw a piece of furniture. It was in a brochure, and she said she really liked it. So I had a look at the photograph, and I said, oh, well, I can make you one of those, and it's a little wine rack. The one that she saw was made of oak, so I decided to make one out of pine, and I don't work to plans. If my wife says she wants something, I'll just look at it and think, yes, I'm going to make it like this, and I'll get an idea in my head, work out the dimensions, and then put it together. This was put together using a biscuit jointer that I had just got. It was a really cheap biscuit jointer, but it did the job, and this is one of my favourite pieces of furniture. I really like this, and normally it's got wine in there, but I didn't want to smash the bottles when I was bringing it out. Here are 2 Easter Island heads moai. The big one was actually carved out of oak from the garden. The small one was made with wood from a tree that we cut down in a friend's garden a few years ago. And they're both carved with hand tools, a little bit of sanding. The 5-pointed star is a Christmas decoration, and this was done entirely on the Rage 255 SMS. So I cut all the angles out, glued it together. Then we've got 2 goblets. One was made from a tree that we cut down years ago in my friend's garden, and the other one is made from oak from my own garden. And you know, once you get reasonable at lathe work, making goblets and fine things gets pretty easy. It's not too difficult once you've got a bit of practicing. Thank you for watching this feature on me and my projects. If you would like to see a 3-part series of me building this bench, click through now.